Welcome in, Freds, to another edition of Sports from the Couch and the Sports Cubicle. I'm your host, Mike Mercado. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. And a tale as old as time. Where will the Chicago Bears build their new stadium? It seems like we finally might have a definitive answer to that $1 million, or in this case, multi-billion-dollar question. This comes to us from ESPN's Courtney Cronin. Bears search for stadium site shifts to Arlington Heights. The Chicago Bears' plan for a new dome stadium have shifted again. The team is now focused on building a stadium in Arlington Heights, Illinois, where the franchise owns the 326-acre property that previously housed the Arlington International Racecourse. This development comes just over a month after the Bears said they were exploring Arlington Heights and the Chicago lakefront south of the current sites of Soldier Field as options. Quote, over the last few months, we have made significant progress with the leaders in Arlington Heights and look forward to continuing to work with the state and local leaders on making a transformative economic development project for the region a reality, the Bears said in a statement obtained by ESPN. The Bears purchased the land in Arlington Heights for $197.2 million in September 2021, but have begun developing the site, but have not began to develop the site, which is expected to feature a multi-billion-dollar stadium project and include restaurants, retail spaces, and real estate. The team began exploring options for a new stadium beyond Arlington Heights in the summer of 2023. When they announced that those plans were, quote, at risk as negotiations over property tax reached a $100 million impasse. Last month, the village of Arlington Heights approved a deal to open a formal review of the Bears' $5 billion plan to build a stadium in the suburb. Bears team president and CEO Kevin Warren said in April that the team's goals is to begin construction on a new stadium in 2025. Bears chairman George McCaskey said that a private equity, quote, may be utilized as part of our stadium construction financing plans, but that the team has yet to make a decision on that front. Quote, yes, my goal still remains to be able to move dirt around in 2025, which is important because there's a lot of pre-construction work that needs to go into these projects, whether you're at the museum campus, Michael Reese, a former hospital site, or downtown to get things ready to go. And we're only 1/4 of the way through the year, Warren said at the NFL's annual league meeting. The Chicago Tribune first reported the news of the Bears' plans to focus on Arlington Heights, and you can check out this article over by Courtney Cronin. Bears search for stadium site shifts to Arlington Heights. And before we go too far, it wasn't too long ago, right? Just a few days, that the bombshell was dropped from the book American Kings, a biography of the quarterback by Seth Wickersham about Caleb Williams and the Williams family not wanting to come to Chicago. They were going to do everything. They were going to raise hell. They were going to move mountains to avoid playing for the Charter franchise. And one of the things that was a big, or at least one of the things in the equation, was stadium uncertainty. And this is a big picture issue that the Bears were facing. It is a different NFL. This is the modern day NFL. It's a sport that moves fast, that evolves quickly. It makes so much money, and it does it in such a rapid pace that we see teams that are able to keep up with the curve, able to keep up with the trends, are able to be competitive and make a lot of money. And the way they were doing that was not only manipulating the cap, being creative with the cap, but also finding ways to make lots of money by building and in some cases owning your own cathedral that is a multi-billion-dollar stadium. And this allows you so many different avenues of revenue that can be put on R&D for health in rehabbing your players, or for having a bigger scouting department, by giving your front office and coaching staff what they need in order to build your franchise, because they have the equity, not only a name, but an actual financial backing. That's what it means to be part of this modern day NFL. And building a new stadium is a big part of that. And Players like Caleb Williams, big time players like Caleb Williams, understand that. The pageantry and how big it makes the game look, how legitimate it makes your franchise. Look beyond having the Final Fours, beyond having national championship games of college football, beyond WrestleManias, beyond having big time Taylor Swift and Beyonce concerts. When it's Packers versus Bears, think about how big that is. Think about how big that is for someone like Caleb. But let's be practical about it. Well, as a scenery, the scenic view, had they done Soldier Field correctly the first time, we wouldn't be in this predicament, right? If you were the Chicago Bears ownership, if you were part of the fan base that wanted to keep them in the lakefront, had they done it correctly, you would have had the awesome downtown backdrop with the lakefront, but you didn't. And you can't play ball now. It's too expensive now. You have no room now. So they did the smart thing. They went out and bought a plot of land, and they are going to plant their flag there. What ended up happening is you have Kevin Warren that came in, this new big-time executive, a potential commissioner in the NFL if there was a timeline where Roger Goodell was leaving or being ousted as not a good commissioner. Kevin Warren would be right there as a candidate. This is a guy who did run the Big Ten. But you bring him in, and he is someone that's helped build stadiums. Look at it, Minnesota. He was part of that project, a driving force of that project. You bring him in, and you've made this deal with Arlington Heights now. So he's coming in, and he sees what we all see about the McCaskey family. He knows who they are. They may be the biggest sweethearts in all of NFL when it comes to ownership. Good people, salt of the earth type of people, not good owners, not good business minds for the NFL. Kevin Warren is. So he comes in and he's like, wait, I'm going to take a look at the situation. Have you talked to Mayor Brandon Johnson? What has JB told you? Have you put foot and people on the ground going door to door asking, what do they want from the Chicago Bears? Can we make it that it's inevitable, undeniable that we have to stay here in the lakefront or get the best deal possible? Because let's not forget, as much as this is about tradition and epicness and getting you to watch a college football or college basketball national championship, the Super Bowl, WrestleManias, this is also about getting a sweetheart deal from the state, from the city, the village, all to build a cathedral that they own by themselves. That's what this is all about still at the end of the day. But they bring him in, and he's here to find a good deal. And they thought, and we all thought for a minute there, that Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, was going to use this as a ploy to try to get another win for mayor when that comes up. But as everybody sees in every city, almost in any state at this point, the citizens do not want to pay for a stadium they don't own. They talk about, and owners do, that this is a stadium owned by the city. You can't use it every day. You can't go out there and play football, go have a picnic, go enjoy yourself with your family. You know, you have to spend a lot of money to reserve just one of those club seats off season if you want to have a little bit of a party. So it's understandable why you, myself, anybody doesn't want to pay for a stadium. But there is a way where everybody has to put their dues in if it makes sense. And Arlington Heights always seem to be that place where people of Cook County, people of Arlington Heights, the surrounding suburbs will understand what they will have to pay, but they're also expecting to get something back in return. Whether it is their school districts getting money back, whether it is all their property values going up. This is and should be a two-way street. So I don't blame Kevin Warren and the McCaskies for playing the game, but that's what all this has been. Ultimately, is playing a game to get the best deal for them. And it's always been the most practical one. The land that you own already. And the ironic thing about all this is they've spent so much time to save money, trying to get a sweetheart deal, not wanting to pay the school district of Arlington Heights, not wanting to have the evaluation at the price that it was. That now it's more expensive to build the stadium than it would have been 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Because as you can see, anytime you go grocery shopping, go buy a car, go buy a house, go buy candy, go get any type of gas, any type of fuel, anything. You want a breakfast sandwich. Everything's more expensive now. How much do you think it's going to cost for, labor and the construction, the material it takes to make a state-of-the-art, modern-day Coliseum that is an NFL stadium? That is the most Bears thing about this, was that it's going to cost them more than it would have had they just done the thing they were going to do from the beginning, which was build a stadium in Arlington Heights. But they had to do this now because there is momentum for the Bears. If they were ever going to get any money from the state, and J.B. Pritzker, who might want to be the Democratic nominee for presidency in just a few years, was not going to just lay down on the ground and say, here you go, McCaskies, here you go, Kevin Warren, here's a stadium. He wasn't going to do that. So at this point, they're going to just try to get anything they can. And it finally has come to a moment where there might be a finality to this story. They still have time to put shovels in the ground and start construction of a brand new stadium. The real issue becomes, now are the Bears creative enough? Do they have a team of architects and builders that are not only ahead of the curve when it comes to style, when it comes to technology, but also comfort of the fan? All the pressure is on them now to get this right. It's going to cost them a lot of money, and they don't get a do-over in this. Do I think the Bears are going to have what they do in the Intuit Stadium for the NBA and NHL in Los Angeles, or Allegiant Stadium, or AT&T Stadium, SoFi Stadium? No, I don't think the Bears are going to do anything that elaborate. I think there is going to be much more of a Midwest feel to it. I think it's going to look like maybe Bank of America. I think that's what they call it up in Minnesota. And Lucas Oil. I think there's a chance it looks like that. Hell, it might even be as massive as what we see in Ford Field. There's a lot of good stadiums in the NFC North, including Lambeau Field, obviously. But I think they're going to go more that direction. I don't think it's going to be this big, spectacular thing that we see across the NFL, especially on the West Coast. But this is their one shot to get this right. And they have the good fortune that right now, after going to Pritzker, who wants to be a presidential candidate, and after being not being able to sway the mayor's office of Chicago, this is as good of a time that they think they could swing the momentum of talent, of coaches, of the quarterback, of the guy running it in charge, and Kevin Warren and the GM. If there's ever a chance that they could come to the public and be like, hey, can we get a little bit of money? All that is finally what they could bring to the table. So we'll see if they do this the right way. This is a game changer. There's certain moments of a franchise, of a business, even of a mom and pop shop, a relationship, where there's a moment, a fork in the road, where you get to make a decision that could take you a certain direction to certain heights, or can lead you down a bad road. This is one of those moments. The Bears making that trade with Carolina and getting a Caleb Williams. What happened to Detroit against Washington, being able to bring in Ben Johnson. Ryan Poles being your GM, Kevin Warren leaving the Big Ten. So many things had to have happened to get to this moment. You can't mess it up. This is the one opportunity they have. Can they take advantage of it? We want to know your thoughts. What do you think? What are you looking for a brand new Bears stadium? Are you excited that they're moving to the suburbs? This is a chance for the Bears organization and IDOT to revamp and really put a nice, easy, accessible way for fans in the city and the suburbs to get to the stadium. This is that moment. Do you think they're going to do it? What do you want to see? What are you most excited about in a brand new NFL stadium for the Chicago Bears? What event? What games? What can't you wait to see at the new Soldier Field? What name are they going to give it? Who do you think is going to be a big sponsor? We want to know all of your guesses on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to us on YouTube at The Sports Cubicle. Make sure you guys leave a comment down below. Get us wherever you get your favorite podcast at Sports from the Couch. If you want to listen to the radio show right here in Chicago on WCPT 820 AM, it's the Sports Cubicle. We're on SoundCloud at WCPT 820 and at heartlandsignal.com. And want even more Bear content? Because we got it. I am part of a 3-man crew in Bear Era. It is myself, Mike Mercado, Kieran Hall from the Irish Bear Show, and EJ Snyder from Bootleg Football. We are at Bear Era over on YouTube and wherever you get your favorite podcasts. We have the best of guests in the entire National Football League, some of the best minds that cover the sport. You've seen them all over your favorite channels. Make sure you check us out over on YouTube at the Bear Era Podcast. Please take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We will see you next time here on Sports for the Couch and the Sports Cubicle. I'm your host, Mike Mercado.